When it comes to growing a startup, having a great product is only half the battle. The real challenge lies in understanding how users move through their journey with your product, how they find you, how they start using you, whether they stick around, whether they tell others, and ultimately whether they pay. The AARRR framework, often called pirate metrics because it sounds like a pirate's battle cry, provides a structured way to measure this journey. Created by investor and entrepreneur Dave McClure, it breaks growth down into 5 essential stages: acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. These stages capture the full customer lifecycle, from the first moment of discovery all the way through to monetization. By adopting this framework, startups gain clarity, investors get standardized traction metrics, and teams can identify precisely where bottlenecks exist. It's not just a catchy acronym, it's a roadmap for building sustainable, scalable growth. There are 3 major reasons why this framework is so valuable. First, it gives us a clear sense of origins and purpose. Pirate metrics wasn't invented as an academic exercise. It came from real-world startup experience. Dave McClure recognized that most founders lacked a consistent way to measure growth and were drowning in vanity metrics. By boiling the customer journey down into 5 essential stages, he created a framework that's easy to understand but powerful in practice. Second, AARRR provides customer journey tracking. It maps the complete user experience, ensuring you don't overlook critical touch points. Without this structure, teams often focus only on acquisition, driving traffic and signups, while ignoring activation, retention, and referrals. The framework forces you to see the bigger picture. Third, it offers structured growth measurement. AARRR gives startups and investors a standardized approach for evaluating traction. Instead of fuzzy numbers or inconsistent metrics, it delivers a clear set of signals. How many users are finding you? How many are activating? How many stay? How many bring others? And how many pay? The beauty of AARRR is its simplicity. Yet within that simplicity lies the power to diagnose problems, optimize systematically, and communicate traction with credibility. The first stage is acquisition, how users discover your product and enter your funnel. Acquisition is the top of the growth engine, and it's about quality, not just quantity. There are 2 broad categories of acquisition. The first is digital channels, paid ads, SEO, content marketing, and social media. These drive initial awareness and give you measurable control over reach and cost. For example, you might track clicks from a Google Ads campaign, monitor organic search growth, or measure engagement from social campaigns. The second is community and partnerships. These include industry communities, strategic collaborations, and influencer relationships. Unlike paid ads, these tend to scale more organically, building credibility and trust. A partnership with a respected player in your industry or advocacy from a key influencer can deliver highly qualified leads. Key metrics at this stage include cost per click, CPC, customer acquisition cost, CAC, and the traffic to sign up conversion rate. These metrics ensure you're not just driving traffic, but driving it at a sustainable cost that supports long-term growth. The goal of acquisition is not to flood the funnel with vanity traffic, but to bring in qualified leads who are likely to activate, retain, and ultimately generate revenue. The second stage is activation, the aha moment when users first experience your product's core value. This stage is critical because signups without activation are meaningless. If users don't hit the aha moment quickly, they churn. Take Dropbox as an example. Activation happens when a user uploads their first file and sees it sync seamlessly across devices. That instant demonstration of value is what converts curiosity into engagement. Or consider Slack. Activation occurs when a team sends its first message and experiences real time collaboration. Suddenly, communication inefficiencies vanish, and the product's value becomes undeniable. The key is reducing time to value. The faster you can get users to the core benefit, the higher your activation rates. Success metrics here include the percentage of users completing core actions within their first session or their first week. The goal is simple: increase conversion from sign up to active use, strip away friction points, design intuitive onboarding, and guide users directly toward their aha moment. Activation is where potential becomes reality. The third stage is retention, whether users continue engaging with your product over time. This is the strongest indicator of product market fit. Without retention, acquisition and activation are wasted effort. Retention can be tracked across different time horizons. Day one retention shows whether users return after their first activation. Week one retention is critical for habit formation. If users stick around for a week, they're more likely to embed the product into their workflow. Month one retention reveals whether your product is delivering ongoing value. Month 6 plus retention is the holy grail. Long term users who not only stay, but often become advocates. Key metrics here include daily, weekly, monthly active users, DAU, WAU, MAU, churn rates by cohort, feature adoption rates, and session frequency and duration. Retention is not just about keeping users, it's about delivering continuous value. Products that solve recurring problems, embed themselves in workflows, or create habits are the ones that achieve strong retention. If retention is weak, it's a sign you haven't yet nailed product market fit. The fourth stage is referral, when existing users bring in new users. This is where your growth shifts from linear to exponential. Referrals can happen in two ways. The first is natural sharing, where satisfied users recommend your product simply because they love it. The second is through structured programs, where you incentivize referrals with rewards. Dropbox's free storage incentive is a famous example. Referral strength is measured with the K factor, which calculates how many new users each existing user brings in. A K factor above 1.0 means each user generates more than one new user, creating viral growth potential. Below 1.0, referrals contribute, but don't sustain growth on their own. The cycle looks like this. Happy users experience exceptional value. They share the product. New users join with higher trust, and viral growth loops take off. Referrals are especially powerful because they bring in users with higher conversion rates. They arrive with built-in trust. The goal of referral is not just to add users, it's to create growth loops that compound over time. The final stage is revenue, converting users into paying customers who generate sustainable business value. Engagement alone is vanity. Real validation comes when users are willing to pay. Key metrics here include ARPU, average revenue per user, ARR, annual recurring revenue, and the LTV CAC ratio. For example, if your ARPU is $47 and your ARR is $2.1 million, you've moved beyond traction into predictable business growth. A strong LTV CAC ratio, ideally 3 to 1 or higher, demonstrates efficient monetization. Optimization at this stage focuses on areas like pricing strategy alignment, reducing payment friction, upselling and cross-selling, and improving gross margins. These optimizations ensure revenue grows not just from more users, but from deeper engagement with each customer. Revenue is the ultimate validation. It shows that your product delivers enough value for customers to part with their money. More importantly, it shows that your business is sustainable, not just surviving on hype or funding. The AARRR framework, acquisition, activation, retention, referral, revenue, is more than a catchy acronym. It's a roadmap for building sustainable growth. It forces startups to look beyond vanity metrics and to focus on the entire customer lifecycle. The key insights are simple. Acquisition brings users in. Activation turns them into engaged participants. Retention ensures ongoing value. Referral transforms customers into advocates. And revenue validates sustainability. The stories of Dropbox, Slack, and countless others show how each stage builds upon the last. A startup that excels only at acquisition but fails at retention or revenue is doomed. But a startup that balances all 5 stages creates compounding growth and long-term defensibility. The final takeaway is this: growth isn't about hacking one metric, it's about orchestrating the full customer journey. By mastering AARR, you don't just grow users, you build a business that lasts.